First of all, like, comment, subscribe if you guys are here with me today. Finally, we got some Runeterra news. I think people were expecting some stuff to come out yesterday's, but it did not come out yesterday. So if you guys are interested in all things Riot, you guys are interested in TFT, League of Legends, Runeterra, I know I haven't gotten to play Briar yet. I'm still trying to do that. It's really hard. It's really hard to get the new character in PvE. It really is. And we got this. It looks like Nilah is here revealed, and it looked like something like elemental or something like that. So we're looking at something weird. Now it's apparently they skipped a day, so I don't know if there's any. It looks. I mean, they're showing her. I don't know who this is. Alibaba. Okay, shows the cards, but they didn't realize that it's coming up next. So let's look at the cards. We could look at it through here, right on the site. I think it's just perfectly fine here, and then maybe I'll see if there's any other thing. So we have Elemental. So if there's another like archetype like that, it makes me think like there will be a Runeterra champion based on it. And it also makes me think that Janna is coming, right? Janna is Elemental, stuff like that. Or, well, Lux was the skin Elementalist, right? So first up, we got Deluge. For the rest of the game, all of your elemental spells and skills deal 1 extra damage. So it's a 5-cost Siren Song kind of deal, right? But only for the elemental stuff. So we have to see what all that goes into. We'll definitely need to go on one of the websites or whatever. So the Wizard Helmsman, manifest 2 different elemental spells you've played this game. They cost 0 this round. 7 costs, 5. Now, of course, you guys know I see slow, and you guys are gonna love. I'm sorry, I'm doing this out of order, right? But I have a Path of Champions video coming out that I didn't know when I was gonna wake up and do with a reveal. So it's gonna be Jhin, and I'm already thinking Jhin, right? Because this is a slow speed. What if a lot of these elemental spells are faster slow speed? It's gonna mean sorry, it's gonna be Jhin, right? I'm always thinking Jhin. He's always on my mind. Every little thing you do, you're on my mind. Alright, so Vic Rash, the Exuberant. When I'm someone, create a slipstream in the top 6 cards of your deck. So now we got, we just messing with everything, huh? We're gonna skip through. Slipstream is draw 2 and grant them fleeting. Grant them, thank you so much. Nilah card as well. So 1 mana, draw 2, so far coming from 1 card, right? So that card comes from a 3-cost card with a tune, so almost like a 2-cost because you get the spell mana back, and it gives you how many of this? Just 1, and it gives you 1 of these slipstreams with a 2 mana draw, 1 mana draw 2, but they're fleeting, so you have to basically use them immediately, right? But at the same time, you don't, and then like say this is Bilgewater, so TF in the building might really like this, so you know, free. That's a super thing, and then you could draw into that, right? Grant those cards fleeting, and maybe you're just trying to draw, you're looking for an answer, right? It's really to me hypes up that same deck, right? And now we know, because, or at least I know, because of TFT, the new set. If you guys haven't seen it, Nilah is Bilgewater in that. And I didn't, I don't know all the people's nations or where they currently reside. I don't know that all the time because I feel like it changes. Because obviously they can just move. Like Sona in the game is Demacia, but she talks about her home as Ionia. So like people where they currently are, same thing with Riven. Riven is Ionia, but she's in Noxus, so they put her in Noxus in the game. So I don't know. I've always wished that they had different changes. Like you have Ionian Riven. That's what I was hoping they were gonna do. Like I think I've said this before, and I know I'm rambling, but I always wanted it to be that the skins were different versions of the characters, right? So I wanted it so like when you got Battle Boss Vigard, maybe he's not Runeterra, maybe he's not, sorry, Bandle City Shadow Isles, maybe he's a specific thing he's changed. And I thought that would have been a way more interesting way to not only sell the skins, but also make it that you have a brand new character that works the same way. It's still Ezreal. Like you could put Ezreal in Eternal, right? You can take him out of rotation, but you can still play the new version of Ezreal that is approved for rotation. I think that would have been a way smarter way of doing things. Next up, sorry, I know I'm rambling. Formless Blade, burst speed, deal 2 damage to a unit. It can't drop below 1 health from this damage. That's still pretty good though. 1 mana, the 1 mana is crazy, but the burst speed deal damage is kind of nuts to a unit, right? Because that doesn't need to kill, right? So you can burst speed, especially this is the elemental, so it's boosted up by this other card, right? And it could do that, and then you can stack coin, like Jack spell, like something that benefits off killing something. You can use that as well. And then burst speed makes it really hard to deal with, right? Also can do for trading, right? Burst speed, this is a card you can put in the deck. This is not a token card. So I could do this to 1 mana. I don't think that they'll keep it 1 mana. I know that they're saying it. Oh, it's fine because it can't kill the thing no matter what. But still, burst speed, 2 damage in Bilgewater, followed up by a quick attacker, right? So like you think the trade is gonna be fine, but now you have to keep thinking about a Mystic Shot, 1 mana burst speed Mystic Shot that they can't do anything. They can't counter it. They can't do anything. Like that's, I don't know. I think that this card will be changed like a couple months afterwards. How people see how strong it is. Personally, it also could have to do with Nilah. This is her weapon right here. So yeah, that could be a problem later on. Next up is going to be Wildfire. Deal 1 to an enemy nexus, increased by 1 for each other Wildfire you played. Create a Wildfire in the deck. Ladies and gentlemen, content creator card! Here it is. It is a Noxus slow speed card, and each time you play it, it gets stronger. And it has Annie on it, which is great. I mean, there's so many ways to do this. Obviously, you could just go P and Z, right? Multiplicate the card with the Ava Perfectionist. This card basically is. You know what's crazy is that I don't know. I just cut myself off. Wildfire spam deck. Here I go. It's so easy to theorize it about it, right? And even if you wanted to use these 2 regions, right? Like you have the Super Draw region with the Swindlers thing, and it costs 1, right? And then you can make copies in your deck that cost 0 with the. Oh no, those are 2 different regions, so I stand corrected. But you also do have coins, right? And then you could still do Swindlers then. Play this, draw, do one damage hit to the Nexus, boom, and then you put it on in the deck, and then you can do that. Or you can go like Ionia and then multiply it that way. There's another way to do that, and I feel like there's other ways that you could potentially constantly get this duplicated. But I think Ionia is an easy one. Bilgewater. Is there a way? Actually, yes. Bandle City could do it, especially with the Mirror Mage, right? The Mirror Mage could absolutely super duper trooper duplicate this. I think and then you have predictions, right, to kind of get them in the hand. But while you're spending 1 mana doing this, your opponent could just be killing you. So there it is. And I also see this comment here on the set. Go hard 2.0, right? Kind of so, a little bit, but way less, way less. But 1 does 1 and 2. It's just very interesting. And for me, Jin would also love this card. But then again, Jin doesn't have draw, so like you definitely need draw with this card. Holy shit, we get it. So Nilah is water. Or Nilah, Janna Wind, Volley is lightning, Annie Fire, Mouth Earth. That's kind of weird. Ivan and Zyra, Copium in the near future for a floral type. Floral type, what the hell? That's not an element, at least not that I know of. But there should be, I think there are more cards here, right? And then they say elemental spells. Oh my god, so they are changing all of this stuff to elements. Huh. So now when that means a lot. Lightning Rush and Mark of the Storm. So that card that we saw before, Bilgewater, now Bilgewater Ionia, you can now do Mark of the Storm and have it do even more damage by playing that card. Entomb doesn't do damage. There could be some other things for this. Ice Shard, that actually would work. Invocation of Thunder, I don't know what that is. Quicksand. So this is Earth. So they are doing Earth, Water, Ice, it looks like. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Bellows Breath is probably Fire. Ground Slam, Frozen in Fear. Some of these cards don't make sense, but at least for that 1 card, right? That's what I'm saying, that 1 card. Formless Blade, Gale Song. Maybe, you know what? There might be showing cards that don't actually exist, or maybe we're just not familiar, because it says skills, right? So skills count as well. Cold Resistance, Deluge. What I'm also thinking is that they'll have it that some of the maybe reduce the cost of things. These are elemental spells. These are all the spells, and these are all the skills. Mana Soul Student. Wow. So now you can have it that does +1 each time. Talia's Thread can also be boosted. Malphite's Rock Slide. Crystalline Storm Raptor's Piercing Lightning. I do not know what that is. That is a new card, I'm sure. Nivea can be boosted. Stone Breaker's Shaking Ground. Okay. Windsinger's Gust. Is there any other thing that's like... See, Howling Gale, that's a wind-based card, right? So I think they're kind of leaning into, yes, Janna's coming, if you look at some of the wind-based stuff. But I don't know how much of this is wind. Maybe there's not too much in her kit at the moment. That's pretty cool. And Elemental. Many spells and play effects will receive the Elemental type, increasing the interactivity with cards being added in the Fates Voyage expansion. So again, they're just doing that, and then they're showing this, that these are the cards that are caught. Divine Draft, what is that? We don't know. But the only wind-based character I think in the game has been Yasuo, right? Yasuo's been that. I don't see anything Yasuo-based. Well, he doesn't have a thing. They could have made his Still Tempest at best. Wish this was... You know, it would have been great if they would have put this in alphabetical order, just saying. Just saying, it is definitely not, and that would have been great. Or elemental order, right? So all the ice stuff, all the water stuff, all the wind stuff. I think they didn't want to do that because it gives away too much that certain stuff would be wind, right? But it's just gonna say elemental though. It's not gonna say that it's fire. It's not gonna say that it's water. It's just gonna say elemental. So ebb and flow might be crazy, right? Might be crazy. Harsh winds, wings of the cryo phoenix, like some of the stuff. Okay, cool. Molten breath. That's kind of nuts. And that's all they've shown so far. So they showed us 6 cards. They shown literally her on the front. So I'm assuming she gets revealed tomorrow, right? And the whole expansion drops in a week from today. So 7 days from today. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it adds a little bit, but the only interaction that we've seen with elemental stuff is this. Now this, the Wizened Helmsman, now gives a different thing. I mean, he's still 7 costs, but then you're getting 2 elemental spells for 0 costs, right, in your hand that they obviously want to play. You don't have to play them. Let's say if they're not that great, you just hold on to them. But so, oh, there goes Deluge, just one of the cards that Deluge. Oh, so Deluge you can just get from this for 0 mana, which is kind of nuts too. So let's see, like, so if you're looking back at it, right, so you can get any of these spells for 0 cost. Getting Mark of the Storm seems kind of weird, right? I got you, Mark of the Storm. But yeah, Entomb for free is kind of crazy. Crystal Arrow. Are they including the champion spell stuff? That'd be crazy. You get a Crystal Arrow out of nowhere. So that 7-drop seems a little bit better now because, I mean, if you hit one of these normally high costing things like Harsh Winds for 0 mana, Winter's Breath for 0 mana could be pretty insane, right? Like you thought you had it, he plays that, he develops a 7, and I think that's a play effect, so you can't abuse it too much outside of recalling it. But a lot of these cards, Buried in Ice for 0. Oh, Steel Tempest is here. Okay, that's funny. It has the same icon as Buried in Ice, but we won't talk about that. But that's still pretty cool. Like if you hit low, like Unraveled Earth, Quicksand, you have to say, oh my god, like that card. Even if you don't play the card for 0 mana, once that card is played, your mind has to go into a different ether because of the options, the pure options that you get off of this card is insane, regardless of you just being in Bilgewater. Now you have to think about literally so many other things. So I think that's pretty cool. That's definitely a pretty cool card. I think you definitely run that. But they're gonna start changing, and obviously there's gonna be. But I don't think Nilah would make sense as an elemental Runeterra champion. Who would make sense as an elemental Runeterra champion? And remember, this is like the bottom thing, so I don't know if a unit itself could become elemental. I don't think so. I think it's just spell play effects. I don't think that these cards. Wait, are these elementals? I could be talking a foot of my ass. But I was thinking about Nico, basically. Yeah, these cards don't come off as anything. They don't have any things. Just the spells do. Elemental spells and stuff like that. So what cards are you guys looking forward to out of this small? I mean, it's only 6 cards, so there's not much to think about outside of like the Wildfire. Everyone's gonna make a Wildfire deck. It's gonna be so simple. I think it just depends on whether or not like who comes up, I guess, with the best one. I'm thinking Swindlers then. It just kind of makes sense to me. There's 1 cost, you can keep drawing into it, but it's one of these creates 1, so there's no way to super duper like multiply it. Wildfire also, if it's in the deck to potentially, I'm thinking like Mimic in its own region. I don't think that's worth it either. Like Reputation, it seems like it's 2 different types of decks, right? Like you want to draw into removal, and you also want to draw into this card, the Wildfire. Play it for 1, and it gets stronger, right? Increased by 1 for each other Wildfire play. So you play 1, and then your next one is 2, then 3, then 4. And I think with other pings, I don't think you are trying to do 20 Nexus damage with this card. It probably, at the end of it, will probably do 5 damage. Like maybe you'll get it up to 5 or something, like 4 or 5. And then you just end the game by also having other ping spells. I don't think you sit there and... This card might... now I'm thinking about it. It might not be as crazy as people... I don't think you'll ever get it unless you specifically do nothing but that, which I don't think you'll survive a game doing that. Not exactly sure about that. But... this card is, I think this card will be nerfed probably like a month or so after release. I think it's a little bit too strong because it's burst speed, just being honest. Similar to like Prize Fight, right? But Prize Fight is based off the unit's attack, but it also it allows you to trade like kind of crazy. This thing with boosted damage in some way, shape, or form, like the kegs, could be pretty crazy. Do this, boom, Formless Blade, and then follow up with something that has an effect when it kills, it does some damage, or just use it to trade, like I said, quick attack. So far, just these cards, I'm mostly impressed with the Wildfire, kinda, but mostly the Wizard Helmsman. I think he's gonna be crazy. The Slipstream thing is pretty cool. Just to draw into that and then have a draw 2 out of nowhere. And of course, the Luge is gonna be pretty crazy. Yeah, of course with the Wildfire, because it does boost its damage up, but it also boosts up the skills like Talia, stuff like that. Bilgewater, Shurima, I guess? I don't know. Doesn't sound crazy. We need to see a champion, and then we need to see if there's going to be a Runeterran elemental synergy that's going to boost all these cards together, put them all together. But who in the world of League of Legends controls multiple elements outside of that Lux skin? Are they actually going to do what I want them to do and make elemental Lux and have Lux as a different version of herself that is Runeterran, because it's a skin and it puts all the elements? That would be insane. You go Nilah, Janna, Lux. They're not going to do it. There's no way. But I would really like that. I would really like. Then you can do like Pulsefire Ezreal, but he's a completely different Ezreal. You know, like he works completely different. I would love that. But anywho, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys in the next video, which should be a Path to Champions video coming out later today. I promise it will come out later today. And that should be pretty fun because it's Jhin versus Aurelion Sol. That's right, I unlocked Aurelion Sol and I had some fun. Let's go.